Our guest today is Camilla Isley. Camilla is an engineer who left science behind to enter the whimsical realm of romantic fiction. She writes contemporary rom-coms. Her characters have big hearts, might be a little stubborn at times, and love to banter with each other. Every story she pens is a guaranteed happily ever after that will make your heart beat faster. Welcome to Behind the Story, Camilla.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you write.
From Italy, not many people know that, but I started writing actually when I was living in the United States, and I read mostly contemporary rom-coms. Sometimes I switch between adults and new adults if my characters are a little younger. And I just try to write, fun books that will make your brain unplug and hopefully have you swoon for the heroes.
Right. And so we're going to talk about your Christmas book because it's starting to build up to the Christmas season. People like to start reading early. Fool Me Twice. There are two types of relationships, fake and real. Chuck and Kate's used to be real, or so real. But after she broke his heart 4 months ago, leaving him, it all became just pretense for the sake of their entwined families. They head home for Christmas, determined to tell the truth, and end up accidentally engaged instead. So what's the story behind Fool Me Twice at Christmas?
Okay, so Chuck and Kate were a couple, and they kind of grew up together, became friends first, and then started dating in high school through grad school. And then she broke up with him, like at the beginning of the school year. But since their families are best friends and business partners, they don't know how to tell their parents. So for the past 4 months, they've been fake dating with their family over the phone because they're living somewhere else. And this Christmas, they decided, okay, we're going to come clean. But every time they try to tell their parents, something happens. And of course, they never are able to tell the truth. And actually, they end up by a freak accident getting engaged by mistake. And everything keeps snowballing, and they are more and more into the lie and don't know how to. It's only one bed, so they're forced to sleep in the same room, and she actually has a boyfriend, and
oh no,
so it's
terrible. A bit of a love triangle too.
No, it's not, because nothing actually happens, but it's a lot of emotion, because
Yes.
they haven't spoken for a month, and now they are in this forced proximity where they have to pretend that they are engaged, and their parents send to the church for premarital courses. So
wow.
with the priest, it ends up like being like couple counseling, more or less. So they have discuss what went wrong with their relationship, why
Right.
pretend to still be together, and so emotions surfaces. And
Wow, that sounds great. Yeah, that's a great idea. Bring them into couples counseling and help them actually face why they split up and get them back together for real. So introduce us to Kate and Chuck. What are their strengths and quirks?
so Chuck would be like the hot nerd. He's like, yeah, he's very calm, very settled. He can't wait to graduate and come back to their hometown, join the family business, and he's ready to live there all his life. Kate is more, she wants an adventure. So one of the reasons for the breakup was like she couldn't imagine herself like graduating and going back home and live there forever. And that's just being it. And yeah, he's more of an artistic guy. He's a graphic designer. She's the numbers girl. And yeah, they're from this small town where they are considered royalty, because the business is like feeds the whole town.
Right.
So that's why they like they are the prince and the princess that everyone expects to get married. Why
Right.
it's so difficult to tell everyone that they actually broken up.
Wow, awesome. That sounds great. Sounds like you got lots of like fun tropes in there, and just readers love that. They love, just being told in another way, and the fake
So
fiance.
it's friends to lovers to exes to enemies to lovers. And it's a second chance romance, of course. with only one bed, fake dating because they're pretending to date. Small town at Christmas.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like lots of tropes.
Great. Well, Sarah on Amazon says, this felt like a classic rom-com wrapped up with a sparkly holiday bow. What do you love most about this Christmas story?
Okay, so what I love most is actually the business I gave them, their families, which is a chocolate factory. When I was living in South Bend, Indiana, the city had a small chocolate factory. So that's where the inspiration came from. And when I had to decide on a business, I thought what could go better with Christmas than chocolate. And I was imagining like we all had the little dream as kids of, being in the chocolate factory. And it seems like, a happy business to go in a small town. So that was really fun for me to do.
Do you get lots of reviews saying how you made them hungry or something like that?
Yeah, a little bit. Also because they have various scenes where they visit the chocolate factory, so I have to research how chocolate is actually made,
yes.
put jokes about where it comes from, and
yeah. And you had to visit chocolate factories and eat lots of chocolate for your research. Okay, so
I'm actually already an expert on tasting. Yeah.
Oh, great. So midpoint question for our viewers. So what is your favorite tropes? What's your number one best trope? What's your second best trope? Because authors really, we love to hear that. And then we do that. I have got a book called Faking It for Grand's Sake, but it's sort of similar with small town, second chance. He's a big business tycoon and she just wants adventure. She works for adventures. So it's always just a fun trope to play around with. It's one of my favorite, fake dating, fake fiance, or marriage convenience, if you can like make it realistic enough, the reason, but it's hard to do with modern ones. So now back to your history. So what influenced you to trade in science and start writing? They seem very sort of like one side of the brain, another side of the brain.
Actually life, because I was living and working in Italy, then my husband got this opportunity in the United States. So suddenly I was living in Indiana in a house in the woods, and like I had nothing to do. And I've always been a reader. And I think most readers, like when you get so lost in stories, you always dream of writing one. And so at that point I had nothing to do. And I said, well, I'm just gonna try and write one. So
awesome. So tell us about that. When you first wrote the book, roughly what year was your first published? Was that independently published? Just tell us a bit about your journey publishing.
I think I started writing it in 2014 and I published in 2015. Yeah, independently also because I was in the United States. I didn't like know anyone. Also, I'm a bit of an introvert, so the idea of going out, having to search for an agent, publisher was too much. I'm just gonna be on my computer and send it out to the world and see what happens. Yeah.
So how do you find that with being an introvert and then having to connect with readers and social media or newsletters? Like, do you feel safe you're creating your environment, or
because mostly it's like still behind the screen,
Yeah.
In an email I don't get any interaction, so it's easier. I have my time to think. I can reply to you also on social media messages. It's not like an in-person interaction, so those are okay for me.
Yes. Well, I found I was listening to a podcast about the differences, but yeah, introvert doesn't mean that people have anxiety, social anxiety or anything. It's just like they prefer having some social time, but then they need a break, and so it's just you're more in control of that. It's not zapping your energy, I guess, to be like answering all these questions.
You can do it in your own time. If you don't want to reply to a message, you just do it in the next day. No one gets mad. Instead, if you're in person, it's like you have to be there. So, yeah.
Cool. So it sounds like you haven't done any book signings or in-person conferences and that kind of stuff. Now, you recently been traditionally published. What are the expectations from a traditional publisher to independently? As far as that, what they got expectations for you? Do certain interactions, social media, newsletters? What?
So yeah, they have some social media stuff that they coordinate for me and that they ask me to do. And the big difference is that I have a deadline with them. So they're not like super strict, but you're not your own boss anymore. But what really made a difference for me is like the story, because you have many feedback loops. When you're alone, yeah, you get two, three editors, but basically you're the master of your story. Instead, the development of the story with an editor from a publisher is more in depth. I think my story have gotten better, and I have a lot of more free time to write. I don't have to. Usually, when you self-publish, you have to do everything. So you have to pick the editor, book it, send the manuscript, do the formatting, the covers for the print, for the ebook, find a narrator for the production, proof all the audiobook production. It's a lot of time. It's a
Yes.
lot of free time that I now have to just exclusively write, and they take care of the stuff.
Right.
The marketing, ads, I don't know. I never wrapped my head around ads.
Right.
I know some author like make them work for them and do great things, but I could never make them work for me. So yeah, I don't have to do that
Right.
anymore.
So you're doing independent publishing. You found doing the pay-per-click ads a bit not really, it is quite hard, and they change things. So how's it going with the publisher they've got? How did you get to tell us a bit how you got the deal with the publisher as well? Are they a medium press, small press? And then what are they doing to make, I know this, you just got instant like hundreds of reviews and things like that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the deal was a funny story because I was writing a book to submit to them, and 2 weeks before I finished the book, an editor from them contacted me and said if I was interested in having a business chat, and I was like, yes, I'm interested. And then, yes, of course, we decided on a contract and signed a deal. And they have a community, bloggers. Also, they put the books on Galley, which if you have to do alone, it's a bit of an expense, especially if you want to keep it there 2-3 months. As a self-publisher, you have to do, the editing alone, the cover, the production of the audiobook. So adding also other stuff like NetGalley for me was a bit of a stretch. They have social media accounts that are bigger, of course, because they have more followers as a publisher, and they take care of the ads. So, yeah.
Yeah. So do you find with all those reviews, those NetGalley reviews, do you find that's helped you with the sales, do you think? Do you feel like it's helped in general? Because obviously they're not sales, so they're free reviews. But yeah.
I think it's still too early to tell because the first new book I published with them came out in September, and I still don't have the statements.
Oh, so it's just the first book, because your covers sort of look similar.
So they bought 4 old books, which we redid, but I cannot really tell you, like for real, how a book that was already published is doing better. I can tell you, it's doing better than what it was doing 3 years ago on my own. But I know it wasn't a new book, so a lot of my readers had already read it. So not, it's still doing better than it was doing last year. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's great for you because it was just sitting there. You've already written it. That's excellent. It's not a really common thing where people want to buy books that you've already written and repackage them. Did you do a new edition or went through the editing process and changed quite a bit?
It depends on the book. A couple of ones I've added like 10K words, and one just the epilogue, and another one was basically left alone because I also had just published like 6 months ago or something.
Wow, cool. Awesome. And also with the independent readers, because they're used to a certain price point and now you're sort of leaning a bit more to the traditional publish, are you more like pushing like the paperback, the audiobook, and a higher price point for ebook? Do you think it's a different kind of readership?
No, actually, because I chose it's not a big publisher.
Yep.
It's more small medium publisher,
Mm-hmm.
and I would never sign with a publisher that put price an ebook at above $10. It's not it wouldn't just fly. I think you either you are like one of the major authors that have a huge marketing behind. So no, they're very smart. They're very digital first. They keep the prices like $2.99, $3.99. They're very much in the author minded, but with more of a team behind them. So
Right.
that's
Right.
one of the factors to choose them.
Great. So now you've tried both sides. Some people do hybrid where they still, but if the publisher just offered you continuously, yes, sign another book, another book, another book, would you ever do indie again? Do you think if you had the choice?
I'm actually still doing both because, like, for example, they're only interested in full-length book. So this year I published a novella that I made free for my newsletter, and another paranormal story that they were more interested into contemporary. But it's just I talk to them. It's like, do you mind if I do this on my own? And they say no, just go ahead, do your thing. So I'm hybrid. I do my own stuff, and my major, my core is with them.
So you're writing in English. It's your second language. So what is the biggest challenge for you with this?
It's imposter syndrome because, first book I published, I thought, oh, now they're gonna kill me in the reviews. They're gonna say, "Who wrote this? A 5-year-old?" I was really worried. Yeah, I've always been reading in English, but it was like my first try writing it. I didn't study creative writing or anything and so I was really worried that review were gonna smash me, but they didn't. So I published another one, and no one said anything. And so I was like, yes, I guess I can get away with it. I sound American enough. Sometimes I confuse a little bit of British with English, but
Yeah. Did you had an American editor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I have American editor. And it's just funny because, I might say something like, oh, that's brilliant. The thing. I was like, no, we don't say that. American is like, well, it's great. It's good. And I was like, okay, but I want to say a different word. But just keep it simple.
Because, I was reading both American, but also like the classic when it was British chick lit, and you pick up a lot of the jargon. And in my head, I don't have really this clear, this is American, this is British. I'm reading. So for me, it's all the words, but yeah.
That's it. And sometimes I think this is an Australian saying, and then I find out like, oh no, Americans are saying it now, or they do say it. Like I thought, no worries, like that's a classic. No worries, mate, no worries. But now I'm reading it. Is this author Australian? Like they've got no worries in there. Like, I was like writing no problem because I thought it was too Australian. And then stoked, I thought that was a very much Australian thing, but no. So yeah, it's good just reading, and you're self-learning, and it just like I even like start speaking American, and my kids, because they watch a lot of YouTube and American stuff, they talk American like candy. You're like, it's not candy, we're in Australia, it's lollies,
But TV is also mostly American, so it's
awesome. So we have a few authors that follow the show. What's the best marketing advice for new authors, do you think?
Okay, so it is to get your newsletter started right away. When I published my first free novella, I didn't even have a newsletter, and I had like tens of thousands of downloads and nowhere to send people. So yeah, but it was 2015, 2016. It wasn't like now that I think authors come in more prepared. They have a lot of advice out there. They just know what to do.
Yeah.
And also I do one thing that works for me is on my self-published stuff is to publish something free. Add a bonus epilogue that's exclusive. You have to sign up to my newsletter to read. And also the sequel is free, but it's only on my website. So if you want to read it, you have to sign up.
Right.
And it's a bit of an investment in time and editing because, the novella is free and the other novella you put on the website is also free. But you subscribers because, and then you control the subscribers. It's
Yeah.
not Facebook that can take away your visibility or change the algorithm and you don't know where the people are going. It's yours.
Yeah.
So as long
Do you have it all automated, like automated sequence, introduction, and that kind of stuff?
At 9 emails now. And every time I publish a book, I add another one introducing the new book.
Right.
So it's getting really long.
Yeah.
But
what server do you use? What newsletter provider, email server?
I use MailChimp because just I started with that one.
Yep.
And I'm still on an old plan that's gonna expire, I think, in the next years because I had the credits. I bought like a million of credits and I'm still using those, but they're gonna expire. So
then you're going to be charged $1 million like to keep it.
I have a tip for that, which is to save. It's like I send 10 emails and I number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. If you haven't opened any of the 10, it could be because you don't like my MailChimp server or you're just not interested. So I move all those subscribers to Substack, which is free. So then I see some people coming back and some people just, they're never going to open. So I don't know why, but you save on the people that are not engaged for whatever reason. And going through a different server, you can re-engage them because it may be was you got flagged for whatever Gmail reason, you don't know, and you're on a different server. And the one that unsubscribe, just unsubscribe. You know? So, but you save a lot of money that way, and you keep the engagement on MailChimp high, which is important for the deliverability.
Right. So you don't, when they do the 9 sequence, you don't automatically go into the main pool of your newsletter. Is that what you're saying? Like
they are in the pool. So that's separate. I don't count the introduction sequence. Once you're in, you're gonna get my regular email once a week, and also on the side all the automation, which I don't monitor. But what I monitor is like you have 10 weeks. I send you 10 emails, more or less. If you don't open any of the 10 emails, then I move you to a free service. And there I can re-engage them. And to give you an idea, my main one has a 60% open rate.
Right. That's great.
Because every 10 emails, if you don't open, you're gone. And the Substack one is at 25.
Right.
But still, they were people that had 0 on MailChimp, and now they are on a different server, something changed, and I get back 25% of those. So it's good. And it's free. So the only hassle is that you have to write 2 emails.
Yeah. Well, they can be worth it though. So did you like build up subscribers in the beginning, like BookFunnel promos, or is it mainly just subscribers like from front and back matter?
I'm from before the times of BookFunnel.
You're from before the times. You were behind the times.
Yeah. So I started using it like only in recent years. And no, in the beginning it was just like a free book with get the free sequel at the back, and it was just a MailChimp sign-up form. And I think I actually had the file delivered via MailChimp. So just a link, it was the EPUB stored in MailChimp, and people could... Then in 2021, I decided I was gonna change my reader magnet. And so that's when I went to BookFunnel, because I knew the downloads were going to go up. So I didn't want to have to deal with I can't download this book. How can I?
Yes.
Yeah, BookFunnel does all that, and it's wonderful.
Yes, BookFunnel is great. If you're someone who's wanting to be an author, start with BookFunnel as well. Okay, what marketing are you currently doing that you find the most effective? Other than newsletter. Because it sounds like that's your number one. What's other than that, getting new readers in?
Well, the free books, I mean, is still the easiest one because
perma-free.
Perma-free, yeah.
And do you do promotions with like free booksy or things like that to tell people that's free?
I used to like, but now they already gotten 1 or 2 BookBub each. So,
Oh, wow.
and
You're getting free.
yeah,
You're getting BookBubs with them.
yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah.
though they're perma-free, or you make it free just for the BookBub?
Um, I think I did it only for the perma-free, the BookBub. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it used to be like book one in a 8 book series,
Mm. Yeah.
and yeah, Free Booksy, Fast Librarian, Red Feather Romance, all the usual suspects. But lately I haven't done it. But I got caught up this summer in the Stop Your Kindle Day. I wasn't in it, but my book got like 40,000 downloads in one day, and I was like, oh, great.
Wow. Just because it was
Like,
free on the Amazon stores or
yeah, so
yeah.
people were it went viral on TikTok that there were
Oh,
free books on Amazon, and since my perma-free usually sits in the romantic comedy charts, it's like I don't know 200, 100 on Amazon always,
yeah.
and it got picked up in that, so it was like
Wow.
an explosion of
Cool.
pre-sales. It was number one in the UK, and I
Wow.
didn't do anything. And I was like, at the beginning, I didn't know what was happening. I was like, what's happening today? And then I understood that it was Stop Your Kindle Day. So now I'm gonna do that
Yeah.
from the inside within.
Yeah. I've heard not sure how it's going now, but immediately after some other people felt their sales dropped in, not the people that did in the promotion, but other people in general, because I guess all these readers had free books to read. So
It could be. Honestly, for me, it was such a massive number of downloads that I saw the opposite, because when you give away 40,000 copies in one day,
mm,
even if just 10% read them
yes.
and go on to the next book, it's just so many sales. But yeah, I could see that happening. Like, you got 30 free books, you're going to read them, and maybe you're not going to buy others. But also, romance readers are famous for being so voracious that they can, read through
Yeah.
everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really analyzing the thing because I wasn't part of the event. So I had no idea what was happening. It took me like a week to figure out what I
Yeah.
was having.
Yeah.
Yeah. So TikTok also, if you can manage to get picked up by someone on TikTok.
I have seen you on TikTok. So have you had any viral takeoffs or that kind of stuff? Or
No, nothing viral. But still, I'm stuck in the 200, 250 views per video.
yes,
But
that's
if you
me.
but if you manage to do a TikTok a day,
Mhm.
that's still like thousands of views every week.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I might have a TikTok that goes up to 3,000, but
Mm.
nothing ever got crazy. But also, I'm starting to see some of my books on TikTok. So from other people that those have gone viral, like for Christmas books also.
Oh,
So that's
great.
nice.
But that's what
And
you want, isn't it? A TikToker, like a book TikToker, or whatever you call them, book talker, that's, is recommending your book. So were they recommending it in a pile of books or like Christmas theme?
yeah,
Or, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And also another thing that I do is like sometimes I stalk people wish list. And if I see that you have one of my books, I gift it to you, You never know. It's like and you never know when it could go viral.
Yep. So you send them a message, hey, do you want this book for free? Like, is that
No,
how?
I just give them like a surprise, like a book fairy, Because
Yep.
most TikTokers have their Amazon wishlist public.
Oh,
So you click on the Amazon wishlist and you don't even see the address. You just say if they have your book, you can send them it to them and you don't know their address. Amazon does everything.
right. Do you send
And
them a paperback or ebook?
yeah, a paperback. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
I don't do this often,
No,
but
you're
like
doing it for big ones that have a bigger audience.
yeah, if I see that you have a big following and you have one of my books on your wish list,
Mm.
I say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna send you a gift and
Well, that's really nice. That'd be a nice surprise for them. Yeah.
yeah.
So you get this random, like, oh, I didn't know what it is. Do you put a little, yeah, you can put a little note in there?
yeah, you can put a little note and say happy reading, enjoy this. And, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's awesome. Okay, so how do you choose the settings for your books? Because you're living in Italy and you've lived in
Yeah.
America. So how do you choose the settings? All US or?
Yeah, in the beginning, I was in South Bend. So I was traveling to Chicago like every other weekend for fun. So my first books are all in Chicago. Then my favorite city in the US, I think, is New York. So the majority of my books then are in New York. I have one in LA. And I guess also it depends on the story, you know. If it's a small town, I've seen that I invented a small town always. I never put a real small town. I've always invented them. I have one set in the jungle, but that's because it was just an expedition, adventure type of book. So, but mostly, yeah, it's either a big city in the States or a small town that I invent.
Yeah.
I have one in London, and one in LA, but just, yeah,
Was
it's
it the
mostly,
whole book in London or just a visit to London?
it was in between London and Chicago.
Yeah.
Because it was also a parallel lives kind of story, like maybe in another life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So it's like half of it was in the States and half was in London. And sometimes, yeah, my characters travel for a little bit, you know, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Awesome.
mostly the US.
So what's something people might be surprised to learn about you?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that I am Italian, you
Yes.
know, because for the imposter syndrome, I never shouted out there like, oh, yeah, I'm Italian.
So you
But
don't
now
do any voice recordings, like videos with your voice or anything?
I've started lately, yeah. But, and you know, also I think I found out Ellie Hazelwood is Italian. So that gave me a lot of confidence. I was like, yeah, if she does it, I can do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well, yeah, I find out people like hearing different accents. And I
Yeah.
love hearing British accents or something like that. Some people like Australian accents. So embrace our. Okay. So while we're in the Christmas spirit, have you ever re-gifted a Christmas present? Did you feel guilty about it? That they'll find out.
I don't think I've regifted it, but I have definitely exchanged it. You know, if you get the little courtesy receipt and then you can go to the shop and choose something else. Yes, I've done that.
Cool. All right. So tell us what's coming up for you in the rest of the year. Are you doing another Christmas themes or just launching?
Um, no, no. I'm gonna do a free Christmas book in December for the Start Your Kindle Day, and I just finished a trilogy, and for the publisher, which is I think it's my prettiest cover ever. Like I could have never done this cover alone.
Yeah,
I love it.
cool. The beautiful colors.
And so I'm done with that one, and now I'm writing. It's a 3-book series that's gonna come up. That's the thing. It's another difference when you self-publish. You finish the book that you publish. Now I have a finished book that I'm gonna publish in January, February, and the last one I don't even know when.
Mm,
So it's a bit more of a lead time.
mm.
And I'm writing a new story that's gonna be again one of my weird ones, a little speculative. Sort of if you like the dead romantics, it's gonna have that feel.
Yeah,
So a little bit of suspension of belief. And
yeah,
that's what
cool.
I'm working on right now. Yeah.
Good to get that out of your system and try something different and make writing
It's just
exciting.
an idea I had and I pitched it to my editor and I said like I am too crazy if I want to write this book and she went like if you're not writing it someone else will write it sooner or later so just go ahead and write it and so yeah
Mm.
I was like I'm gonna write it.
Yeah, great. So where can the readers find you online?
My website it's easy camillaisley.com and then I'm on all the social media TikTok Instagram Facebook the name is not very common, so they can just search Camilla Isley and I should pop up.
Very good. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on Behind the Story, Camilla.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love your show. I watched a lot of episodes, lots of good advice. And it's nice, you know, to have all feel how other people work and be part of a community. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So remember to connect with Camilla online, and she is offering a giveaway of her ebook, Fool Me Twice at Christmas, ready to get into the Christmas spirit. All you need to do is just comment wherever you see this on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, or anywhere where we're sharing this. Basically, just comment what is your favorite top trope, and if you can, what's your runner-up, your second best favorite trope. We would love to hear from you. And Camilla and I write rom-coms, so we like to pick favorite tropes. I've also got a Kickstarter for my pen name, which we are doing a trope, which is marriage of convenience. Also, enemies to lovers is such a fun one. So I'll have a link in the show notes, which comes out. It's got one more day on it if you're watching this in real time, but there will be a link to where it is. And those who want to know who my pen name is, you can find out. I have co-author a pen name, and I do sweet rom-coms. Also, under Lisa Renee, I have a free rom-com. It's audiobook or ebook, and the link will be in the show notes. And Naomi Craig, my co-host, who will be sleeping while we're recording this because she's not awake when Italy is, she has a free novella called On Desolate Heights, if you like historical fiction set in Bible times, and it's quite an interesting read. And please subscribe to Behind the Story, because we have all sorts of authors come on, and we always have a giveaway. So please subscribe, and we'll see you soon. So thanks you again for joining us on Behind the Story. Take care.